Oscar-worthy performance. Brad Pitt is Killing Them Softly, rated R.
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song. I don't know why I did that. I needed a way to open this up here because this weekend's not worthy of a regular intro of our show. Welcome to Time About the Movies. I apologize for that once again. We are taking a look at the two films of November 30th, 2012, and as I said before, it's the week after Thanksgiving, which usually means it's the dumping ground week. The week after Thanksgiving, the week between Thanksgiving and the big holiday releases coming up the week before Christmas, so 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the best typical movies here, and this one isn't bad per se, but it's not as great as I think they were making it out to be. This is Killing Them Softly, directed by the guy who did The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, Andrew Dominik, which Brad Pitt also starred in. And in this one, he plays Jackie Coogan, a hitman who is hired to deal with the aftermath of a mafia poker game robbery that ruptured the criminal economy. We sure this doesn't have any parallels to what just happened with Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups with the NBA FBI scandal. Probably not, but this is set during the events of the U.S. presidential election and the 2008 financial crisis, which, again, Brad Pitt was in The Big Short, too, so this won't be the last time we'll start a movie with that as the backdrop of that, the financial crisis, but other than that, though, it's fine, I guess. I mean, it's definitely much shorter than Dominik's last movie that he did, The Assassination of Jesse James by the Coward Robert Ford, but this one's not as good as that film is, but it's a good film. It's a good film overall. Not a bad film per se. Brad Pitt's really good in here. You got great performances by Scoot McNairy, Ben Mendelsohn, James Gandolfini, Ray Liotta, Sam Shepard, Richard Jenkins. A strong cast in here. And it's a fine movie overall. It's not an Oscar contender, really. It's just kind of a film that got good reviews early word of mouth with the Palme d'Or in the summer, and then they thought they were going to put this out there to be the next big Oscar contender for the Weinstein Company, and it just never was it, man. It was a movie that was just okay, but never anything that really screamed out, this needed to be a movie that had to be an Oscar contender. This feels like a film. They had it in their vault, so they basically said, fuck it, let's put it in let's put it out on this weekend, see what happens, and it did a decent numbers, $37 million over a $15 million budget, so not bad overall, but again, it's a movie you watch once, it's just kind of like, it's okay, but I really have no intention of ever watching this again, per se, so with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last film that we have here. This will be a quick show this week, The Collection.
The Collection, rated R, November 30th.
This is, of course, a sequel to The Collector, which was a surprisingly good movie when it came out in 2009, so naturally, with the same people coming on board with this one here, you expect the sequel to be as good as the original, and it's not really, unfortunately. It feels like just kind of the same thing over again, except kind of stupider, too. You follow a young woman who gets captured by the Collector, with Arkin O'Brien, played by Josh Stewart, escaping but is recruited shortly after by a group of mercenaries whose mission is to save her at the Collector's base. The biggest problem with this one is that they kind of add too much more comedic aspects to it, where it really feels unnecessary. It's kind of like what we just had recently with Tron Ares, a movie that really does not, that comedy should not be involved in the main focus of Tron Ares and a film like this. Like, the tonal shifts in this movie are just all over the place, and this one really, you feel the effects of them putting this comedy in here, and it's not straightforward comedy all across the board, but it just feels out of place for a movie like this, and the movie doesn't really elevate this to another echelon like a good horror sequel should. Like, we should expand the story on the main character of the Collector. Like, what's his backstory and all that. Like, a sequel should give you the opportunity to go bigger, and this really doesn't feel like it goes bigger on any front whatsoever. They don't have any big stars in here. The biggest star in here is Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, and even then, he's barely in the movie for a little bit of time here. But other than that, though, the movie's just kind of a mediocre film in general. The first one was okay. Second one, not so much. Just kind of a mediocre film in general. So, yeah, like I said, this is going to be a very, very short episode here. And next week doesn't get any better. But there will be at least one good movie we'll take a look at. But 2 more movies to look at. 2 movies that were obviously dumped. One was obviously dumped out on this weekend because nothing else was out there. And then the other was an Oscar contender they hoped for, but Sadly, didn't get that, even though it wasn't a bad movie overall. I actually really enjoyed the film we're going to talk about. Not the first one, Playing for Keith with Gerard Butler. But I am going to really appreciate talking about Hyde Park on Hudson with a great performance by Bill Murray as Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It doesn't get as much attention as it deserves, but I really enjoyed the hell out of that movie, man. We'll take a look at those two films. Should be another quick show next time around. And again, we're just waiting for the holiday movie rush to start the next weekend after that. But we got to go through these, unfortunately, so we'll see. We'll get through this all together next week. Next time around. Next week we'll do tomorrow on the show. That's what I'm trying to say. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. If you somehow found enjoyment in this, I envy you very much, but thank you. And also, if you can do me an honor, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so you get updates on when new videos come out. We also have our playlist here. Check that out, and also check out the last episode we did. So with all that said, we also have a new Time About the Movies flashback coming up after I'm done posting this, which will be much better than this show, trust me. Maybe not by much, but we'll get through it. So with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.